Where do life's most powerful lessons really come from? I bet it's not from some dense textbook or a grand, complicated theory. It's usually from the simple, everyday moments that we often just overlook. Today, we're going to explore the incredible wisdom of Sudha Murty, who shows us that the most profound truths are often hidden in the simplest of stories. So we're diving into her amazing collection, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read and Other Stories. And let me tell you, this is not fiction. These are real-life experiences that literally shaped her entire perspective on life, on work, and on humanity. Each story is like this little window into a much bigger, universal lesson. Now, to really get these lessons, you have to understand where she came from. In her childhood village, there were no TVs, no gadgets, none of that. The greatest wealth, the absolute ultimate luxury, was books. Can you imagine? It was an environment where stories weren't just for fun, they were like the currency of wisdom, passed down from her grandfather every single night under the stars. All right, so our first big lesson is all about the timeless nature of learning, and it centers on one of the most inspiring people in the book, Sudha Murty's own grandmother, a woman who decided at 62 years old that it was finally time to start her education. The motivation here is what's so powerful. It wasn't about status or getting a better job. It was deeply, deeply personal. Her grandmother, Kristika, was completely hooked on this serialized novel called Kashi Yatre. Well, when young Sudha went away for a week, her grandmother got the next installment in the mail, but she couldn't read it. Just imagine that for a second. Seeing the pictures, knowing the story is right there, but you just can't access it. That feeling of helplessness actually left her in tears. And this quote just nails the heart of her struggle. It wasn't about being poor. It was about dignity. Her grandmother said it perfectly. Being unable to read made her feel so dependent, and she had this huge realization that no amount of money in the world could buy the kind of independence that literacy gives you. So that was it. She made a decision. She set a hard deadline for herself, the upcoming Dasera festival. And with her 12-year-old granddaughter as her teacher, she got to work. The book describes her as a wonderful student, just doing an amazing amount of homework, reading, repeating, writing, reciting. This wasn't some miracle. It was pure, disciplined hard work every single day. And this all leads to such a powerful, powerful moment. On the day of the festival, after she had successfully learned to read, her grandmother does something totally unexpected. She bows down and touches her granddaughter's feet. Now, in Indian tradition, this is a sign of the absolute highest respect, something you do for elders or teachers. With that one gesture, she wasn't just saying thank you. She was honoring the sacredness of knowledge itself. It was her way of saying that the role of a teacher goes beyond age, beyond family, beyond everything. Okay, our second theme tackles a question that I think a lot of us wrestle with. What does it really mean to be generous? Is it just, giving away the stuff we don't need anymore? Well, Sudha Murty learned a really sharp lesson that completely reframes this whole idea. So later in her life, she was collecting donations for disaster relief, and her office was flooded with bags of, junk. Seriously, people were using charity as an excuse to clean out their closets, donating piles of completely useless things. And this experience was just such a stark contrast to a lesson she learned as a child about what real giving is supposed to look like. See, in her village home, the family had two different places where they stored rice. The front granary had the good stuff, high-quality white rice. But the granary in the back, that one held a lesser quality, thick red rice. And this little detail is absolutely crucial to the story. And here's the kicker. Whenever beggars or anyone in need came to the door, her grandparents always told her to go to the front granary to give away the best white rice. But for the family's own meals, they used the inferior red rice from the back. When she finally asked why, her grandmother taught her this unforgettable lesson. Real charity isn't about giving away your leftovers. It's about offering the very best of what you have. This brings us perfectly to a third powerful theme that you see all through her stories: humility. And she didn't learn this from some abstract principle in a book. She learned it by watching some of the most respected figures in modern Indian history. Her whole journey into the corporate world started with a challenge. She saw a job posting from the giant automobile company Telco that actually said, "Lady candidates need not apply." Can you believe that? She was so angered by the discrimination that she wrote a postcard directly to the head of the entire Tata Group, JRD Tata himself. And get this, she not only got an interview, She became the very first female engineer on their shop floor. So fast forward years later, she's leaving the company to help her husband start Infosys. She meets with JRD Tata one last time. He asked her what she would do when she became successful. But before she could even answer, he offered this piece of advice, a simple sentence that became a guiding principle for her entire life's work. It just carries so much weight. But the lessons in humility didn't stop there. Another really powerful example came from her time with the former president of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, a man famous for his brilliance, but maybe even more famous for his profound simplicity. She tells this story of being in a meeting with Kalam when a man comes in, insists on getting a photo, and dramatically drapes this big shawl over Kalam's shoulders. After the picture was taken, Murty just watched, furious, as the man quietly folded the shawl, put it back in his bag, and walked out. He had only used it as a prop. So when she pointed this out to Kalam, expecting him to be just as offended, his response was, well, it was just perfect. No anger, no ego. Just simple, compassionate understanding. This tiny moment perfectly captured the humility of a truly great man, someone for whom empathy was so much more important than ego. So what's the common thread here? When you look at all these stories, what ties them together? We've seen incredible determination to learn, a type of generosity that gives the best, not the rest, and this deep humility from people at the very top. So what does it all mean for us? The central message really is this. Wisdom isn't some exclusive club. It's available to every single one of us, every single day. You can find it in the quiet determination of our elders, in the actions of our mentors, and in the simple truths spoken by our grandparents. We just have to be willing to pay attention, to listen, and to observe. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? These stories are so powerful because they feel universal. So the real question isn't just about what we can learn from Sudha Murty's life, but what we can learn from our own. Think about it. What small, maybe even seemingly insignificant moment in your life has actually taught you the most?
If this summary inspired you even a little, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more powerful book insights like this. And if you'd like to experience these stories in their full emotional depth, I highly recommend reading the book yourself. You'll find the buy link in the description below. See you in the next story. Until then, keep learning, keep growing.